Meghan Markle opens up about struggling with suicidal thoughts in a sit-down with Prince Harry. Plus, Snoop Dogg talks his bond with the Queen while King Charles steps out in Scotland. Plus, we break down more of Robert Jobson's book, and he tells us where things stand within the royal family with Prince Harry.
Deep down, I think the King wouldn't want to go to his grave knowing his sons were still at war. No father would.
We've got that plus so much more in today's Royally Yes. Hey everyone, and welcome to Royally Yes. I'm Christina, that's Christine, and we have hit the summer snooze when it comes to the royal family.
It's a bit of a summer slump. Hopefully that means that all of the royal family is enjoying a little bit of downtime, a little bit of sunshine, but for our purposes, yeah, it's a bit of a snoozy week.
It has been, but thankfully, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are keeping us a little bit busy because they joined Jane Pauley to discuss a new initiative for kids regarding social media called the Parents Network. Meghan and Harry specifically pointed to social media as an indicator of teens dying by suicide. Now, Meghan, as we know, previously struggled with similar thoughts when she was pregnant with son Prince Archie, who is now 5, news of which she initially shared in her Bombshell 2021 CBS interview. She said during this interview, there is a through line, I think. When you've been through any level of pain, of trauma, I believe part of healing journey, certainly part of mine, is being able to really open up about it. I haven't really scraped the surface of my experience, but I do think I would never want someone else to feel that way. And I would never want someone else to be making those sort of plans. She added, I would never want someone else to not be believed. If me voicing what I have overcome will save someone or encourage someone in their life to really genuinely check in on them and not assume the appearance is good, so everything is okay, then that's worth it. I'll take a hit for that. Now, the Parents Network, according to a press release, aims to provide a safe and free support network for parents whose children have been harmed by social media. Following a 2-year pilot program, it is now available to use in the United States, United Kingdom, and Canada. And this definitely does sound like a really great initiative. This has been a passion project for them for quite some time. And it was nice to see them together opening up about something that they're passionate about rather than, kind of taking jabs at the royal family.
Yeah, this is a good combination of Prince Harry's work with social media reform and just press reform as a broader subject, and also Meghan's platform of sort of motherhood, maternal well-being, and especially, postpartum maternal mental health, which she's been very outspoken about. Mm-hmm. And I think this is really one of the first times that she sort of admitted that not everything she does is well received. And I found that so interesting that she sort of acknowledged that, but said if it helps one person, then she'll take that hit. I thought that was actually a really interesting and insightful comment from her, because it's sort of, sometimes she's so positive and upbeat, but sometimes it is a bit too rosy for some people. So admitting that not everyone loved what she was saying, but if one person was helped by it, then it was worth it for her.
Right. And it was interesting that she was not expecting that question, or at least that's what she said, that, she wasn't expecting the interview with Jane Pauley to go there, and she did. And I thought she handled it really well. She did seem a little uncomfortable when that topic came up, but, it is good that she's talking about it. And, it kind of does go hand in hand with what she is speaking about, because she was so ruthlessly bullied on social media. So she knows exactly what this probably feels like.
Yeah, and I think the interview, it's well worth watching, because it was clearly that they clearly didn't get the questions beforehand. This wasn't one of those sort of PR-fed interviews where these questions have been approved beforehand. This is a really honest, sort of off-the-cuff interview with Meghan and Harry, which feels a bit different from interviews of the past.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. And they had other parents in there with them speaking about their experiences. So it's definitely, like you said, it's worth the watch. It really is. All right, moving on over to King Charles. On August 3rd, he stepped out at the May Highlands Games, an annual celebration of the culture and talent of the North Highlands. The event was first held for the Queen Mother's 70th birthday back in 1970. And King Charles's grandmother enjoyed it so much that she encouraged them to make it an annual gathering. He sported a traditional kilt, as he often does during his visits to Scotland, for the outing. And he took a front row seat under a tent to watch some performances. He and the rest of those gathered seemed especially delighted by some young dancers in colorful kilts and matching knee socks. So it seems like obviously he's in Scotland. That's where they spend their summers, but at least he's, out and about and enjoying the gatherings.
Yeah, I think this is such a great event for him to be a part of. It really shows his deep love of Scotland. I mean, the royal family just as a whole love Scotland, and they love to celebrate the culture and really promote these events and keep those traditions alive. But I also think this reminds us of King Charles's relationship with his grandmother, with the late Queen Mother. They were tremendously close and have really special bond. And the Queen Mother loved the Castle of May. That was sort of a special project, a special place for her, which we saw in The Crown. That's featured in, I think, season 1 of The Crown. And it's amazing for all of this history to really tie together, because you're talking about the Queen Mother bought the Castle May in the 1950s. This first event was held in the 1970s. We're now in 2024, and these traditions are continuing because those bonds and those relationships are so strong and so special.
Yeah, it really is. I love it. Love that the tradition continues. All right, let's spill some royalty. And if you've not been watching Snoop Dogg at the Olympics, you are really missing out. It's really fantastic. But he recently opened up about what he would do when he visits London, and he said, "I'll go by the palace, see if they let me in." That's what we usually do too. The interviewer then mentioned the future King Prince William is a Snoop fan. He said, "Well, the Queen was a fan too. Rest in peace to the Queen. That was my girl. You know what I'm saying? Just may want to go up and, see what you do." Now, Snoop and Queen Elizabeth made an unlikely pair, but they held a mutual love and respect. Snoop revealed in a 2015 interview with The Guardian. He said that their bond dates back to 1994 when he was touring in the UK amid calls for him to be expelled from the country as he faced a murder charge. That charge was eventually dropped. And, he kind of alluded to the fact that maybe Queen Elizabeth had something to do with this, or like at least, I guess they formed a really unlikely pair.
You have to be speechless when you think of Snoop Dogg's murder charge dropped, somehow related to the late Queen Elizabeth II. That's a real, and 1994 Snoop, not 2024, lovable, sort of down to earth, friendly Snoop Dogg. I as you said, you have to go and see the clips of Snoop Dogg. I don't know how he became like a U.S. ambassador, but I'm here for it. But I love that he has this sort of relationship and this connection to the royal family. I'm not surprised that Prince William is a Snoop Dogg fan. I can see that for him.
I can totally see it. Yeah, I think he said in a previous interview that Harry and William were both fans. So I guess she was just being a good grandma and welcoming Snoop into the fold. I love it. But like you said, go check out those clips of him at the Olympics. They're something to watch. So circling back to Meghan and Harry. Meghan is ready for her husband to leave all the royal drama behind them. A former employee of the couple's Archewell Foundation told People magazine the Duchess of Sussex supports Harry 100%, but wishes he could let go of these lawsuits, be happy, and live in the moment. They added that she wants him to be free of all of this, but she also knows that because of everything he's been through and his love for her and their children, he can't. They added that she wants him to live in a world where he is not burdened by this. Now, he has been fighting to have his and his family's taxpayer-funded police protection detail reinstated since it was stripped from them when he and Meghan quit the royal family back in 2020. So, I would imagine that she probably, like, if anything is burdening somebody that you're close with, that you love, you want them to be free of that. So I'm sure she probably just wants them both to move on.
Yeah, when I first heard this story and sort of glanced at the headline, I thought this was sort of like a trouble in paradise, marital problems, but reading further, it does align with what we know about Meghan. We know she's a big fan of what is it, the five commandments, but she reads a lot of books that are about mental well-being and my responsibility and your responsibility and sort of how to keep your mind healthy and how to sort of deal with these emotions. And sometimes it is about letting go of things that you just can't change, that aren't your responsibility, that you can't, that are just weighing you down. So I think that this is really a testament to Meghan's sort of commitment to mental health and well-being, even if it means giving up a fight that you really, that you feel strongly about. If it's going to be better to just move on, I think she thinks that that's the position Harry's in now.
Yeah. Sometimes the best thing to do is just kind of lay it down and move on. So maybe that's what he'll do. We don't know. All right, well, let's break down the royal rules and discuss even more from Robert Jobson's book about the Princess of Wales. There was some big revelations within this book. A lot of people were picking up the headline that Prince William broke up with the Princess of Wales over a 30-minute phone call back in the day. So it seems like a lot of people were talking about that.
I mean, it's amazing. It's to think about them ever breaking up now. I mean, we know
Right.
they had historic breakup. And over the phone, I mean, they were so young, but when I think about it, I'm like, oh no, like their relationship is so strong that could have never happened. But
Right.
Robert Jobson does sort of spill the tea over William dumping her over the phone, which was maybe, I mean, it might have been hard for them to just get together for him to, break it off. It's not like they could just meet up, he couldn't just like hop in the car and drive over there.
That's true. Yeah, no, that is very true. And I guess when he saw her again, it was like time had never passed. Yeah. But it's a great read. But he also talks a lot about William's relationship with Meghan and how it was a very icy relationship, how he didn't want her to wear the royal jewels for the wedding. So we talked to Robert about that. And for more on the Fab Four fallout, here's what he told us. And it seems like William really did not enjoy Meghan right from the beginning. Like, he was adamant about her not wearing those royal jewels at the wedding. It seems like he was very instrumental in, maybe, I don't know, I don't want to say icing her out, but was not supportive of this relationship.
I think he was probably looking out for his brother to start with. Yeah. His brother took umbrage at that because his brother was a man, not a boy. I think there was a sense that she was maybe a gold digger. I don't know. Maybe there was a sense of that, but at the end of the day, I think what he was suggesting is that he takes his time. And Harry, I think after breaking up from Chelsea and from his other girlfriend, was probably just looking for love. He wanted love. And this is what the love that was on offer. And I think that he took umbrage at William's, I think, probably quite innocent suggestions. But don't you think you should take more time? And I think that any brother might say that if you're talking about marriage within 6 months of meeting someone, anyone would say that. But they're not necessarily right, and they're not necessarily wrong. But then, I think most, Harry, I think at that stage looks at his brother who's got kids and is happily married, thinks, well, why shouldn't I be?
Mm-hmm. Do you think there's still jealousy there, or do you think that they've kind of fit into their respective roles at this point?
I think that Harry's got what he wants. He made his bed, he's lied in it, and I think he's got what he wants. But I do feel sometimes he misses what, if you're in a long-term relationship and your girlfriend or future wife is on the other side of the other side of the pond, the Atlantic, it's one of you is going to have to give way, and some of what you loved in your past life is going to have to go. And I think that's probably fair. And they tried a little bit over in the UK. She didn't like it. She prefers it in LA. And I think probably deep down, Harry prefers it, but would still like his military. I think he would have liked what he originally wanted. A bit half in, half out. The Queen wouldn't have it.
Yeah. I think you also write that the King may be trying to convince William that forgiving his brother isn't a sign of weakness. Is that fair to say? I think the King
would love, deep down, I think the King wouldn't want to go to his grave knowing his sons were still at war. No father would. And I think, deep down, I think he probably hopes for some form of reconciliation. Not necessarily, the trust will never be what it was, but at least an acceptance, at least a togetherness that is not really there at the moment.
Like I said, it's a great read, so make sure to pick it up. And that's it for this week's episode of Royally Us. Like we said, not a whole lot of royal news going on, but I think we're making the most of it.
Hopefully they're enjoying some sunshine. Maybe we can enjoy some sunshine, but we'll be back next week with whatever else they might be up to.
Exactly. All right. Well, keep commenting, keep subscribing, and we'll see you next week.